Hello, I'm Matt with Mainstreet Medina, and today we're going to shoot another edition of Medina Minute. Won't you join me inside as we sit down with some friends and familiar faces from around town and learn a little bit about their stories. Welcome to another edition of Medina Minute. We are here with Wendy Mirrotto. Thank you so much for coming out today and sitting around and talking with me. So you are the founder of Kitten Krazy.
Correct.
Okay. How? Why? Where does your passion for animals come from? Because I love it. It's a very specific passion.
Correct.
How did you get there?
I grew up on a mini farm in Strongsville.
Okay.
So we had a lot of animals.
Yep.
And because it's a 15-minute show, I'll go really fast. We had a lot of animals. My mother was the hoarder. Everything that came home with any one of us stayed. And she just has a love for animals. So does my dad. But of all of them, I love the cats. I've always had a cat in my bed, sleeping with me. My earliest memory, I never didn't have a cat that was with me. That was my kitty. And the reason I started Kitten Krazy was because I lived in Parma, and when I quit my job due to, I have fibromyalgia very badly, and I was a secretary, so I couldn't do this all day.
Sure.
So I started volunteering at Parma Animal Shelter, was there 5 years, we moved to Medina, came out here and said, I'd like to volunteer my own community, and there was nowhere. There was absolutely nowhere at that time. This is 18 years ago. May will be 18 years, actually.
Wow.
So we're coming up on 18 years. And at that time, there were no foster programs, nothing. So I went on vacation with my husband, and we were visiting with his mom, sitting on the beach, and I turned to my husband and I said, God just told me I needed to start a rescue. And he went, what? He's like, okay.
But and points for you for catching him at the right time on the beach.
On the beach, he was pretty happy.
Yeah.
I know, he was pretty happy.
That's awesome.
So we actually sat on the beach and came up with the name right then and there.
Yeah.
We kept Googling names and we couldn't name it Kitten. There was things that would come up that were not things that should be coming up.
Understood.
So it wasn't my first choice, but it was a choice that wasn't.
That worked.
That worked.
Yeah.
That worked. So from there, I came home and I made a business card, handed out the next day, and the next day after that, I got a call, and it's been history ever since.
That's fantastic.
Crazy.
So I'm curious, growing up, did you have a lot of brothers and sisters?
2 sisters and a brother.
Okay. So
we're all very close in age.
Dr. Dolittle, there were like snakes and mice and rats and turtles and dogs, cats, goats,
pretty much,
chickens.
a lot of that. We raised guinea pigs. My parents, we had 4 dogs, 2 were German Shepherds. There were puppies all the time. It was in the day, in the 60s, in 70s, when you didn't spay and neuter. It wasn't a thing.
Oh, right.
So all our cats were barn cats. They were in and out, and there were kittens all the time. And so I could choose, and we had horses, and we had a cow and a pig, you know, but it was just the cat. I am so fascinated by everything about the cat.
Really?
There's just, and Mike, hi behind the camera. I always say that because I have my own TV show with Mike. He's behind the camera, my cat chat. But I always say I'm a plethora of useless cat information. Like
somebody has to know it.
And that's why I started that show.
Yeah.
Is because we were finding that people were getting rid of their cats for all the wrong reasons. Very simple fixes to things, and just lack of knowledge.
Sure.
You know, you take your cat to the vet, you take your dog to the vet, they take them back, they do their thing, they hand them back, and you're really not sure what your vaccines are for. You're really not sure why you need to worm or this or that. And so I kind of started it just to help educate the public.
Sure. What brought you and your husband to Medina?
We just wanted to move back out. For me, I'm a barefoot country girl at heart.
All right.
And I just love it out here.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever move.
Nice.
I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So with cats, I'm a dog person. I had a cat once, and it was really, really pretty, and I loved it. And then it threw open my bed, and Mom said it's going to the farm.
Oh no.
That was the end of it. I mean, no, not like go to the farm, like going to heaven, but literally
Right.
going to a friend's farm. So
Right,
it lived
right.
a lovely life in the barn.
Right.
Cats get a bad reputation. I mean, they can be very
Absolutely.
cuddly. They can scratch your face off and break really pretty things. Are those behavioral issues, or is it just that's how some cats are?
You know, that's one of the best questions you could ever have asked.
Okay.
Because somebody just asked me that the other day at the shelter, and I said, this is my take on it. So I have 2 dogs and 5 cats.
Okay.
My 2 dogs, you can count on their behavior. They're loyal.
Yeah.
Or you get dogs who were taught to be mean.
Yes.
But otherwise, they're always loyal. You can count on that. Cats are just like people. They come in from here to here with kindness and evilness. You know, you have your feral cats out there, and if they've
Sure.
never known human touch, they're as wild as any other wild animal out there, and they will rip you apart.
Yeah.
And they're very dangerous. And then you have the personalities of cats, like just chink, 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 you know.
Just like people.
Just like people.
I like your point. That's true.
You have to get to know the cat. And that's why our environment is free roaming. We want to get to know the cat, so we know the type of cat we're sending home with you. But I have a lot of isms. People call them Wendy-isms. And one of them is different environment, different cat. So
Sure.
in our environment, they may be anxious and maybe want to scratch or bite or just hide. In your environment, they settle down. Now they're on your lap and they follow you around the house.
Yeah.
So, you know, they definitely are very hypersensitive to their environment. They're very habitual animals. Once they've created a habit, they stay with that habit, whether it's spraying or biting or whatever. But can you train a cat? Yes, they're insanely smart.
Okay.
They are so smart. But we don't look at them like that.
Sure.
We think the dogs are smart and the cats are dumb. They're just too smart to decide on their own.
They just have personalities.
It's personality.
Yeah,
I mean, I know evil people and I know good people, you know, and they're born that
That's
way.
true, yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like the cats are born that way. They're only going to be so good or so bad.
Yeah.
You know.
Interesting. It makes you wonder what goes on in their brains. Like,
I wonder
what
it every
happened to
day.
them? You know,
Every day I want to go, oh, I really want to know, because you know what? They'll sit around and they'll look at each other and they'll just, and I know they're talking. I know they are. And I'm like,
Absolutely.
I want to know
want
what.
to be in there.
Because they are communicating. There's no doubt they're communicating.
Right.
We just don't know what it is. And we see a lot of body language. Their tails are up. If they're in this position, they're walking around, that's as happy as they can ever be if
Yeah.
they've got the question mark tail. You know, underneath them, that's scared, frightened, the hair's out, the whiskers forward. There's tons of language. But when they're just sitting there and they're in a circle and they're looking at each other and they're having a conversation, and you know they are.
Like the cats at the round table, they know what's going on.
They know what's
But
going on.
we're not part of that world.
Honestly,
So I have to ask the question, Andrew Lloyd Webber's movie stage production Cats.
Of
Have you
course.
seen it? Love it? Hate it?
love it.
Relate to it? Like, does it hit the different personalities that you see?
Yes.
Okay.
To a certain
To a
extent.
certain extent.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
I think it gets a bad rap. I gotta say, I love it too.
Yeah, it does get a bad rap, but I do think there is another dimension that cats go in, because if you have a cat, you know that there will be a day that you cannot find that cat. You've looked everywhere, every little nook and cranny, and you've given up because probably it's time to go to the vet, and they went and found a hiding
they
place.
know, yeah.
But I always call it the other dimension, and then the vet appointment you've canceled, and next thing you know, there's the cat.
Right at your feet.
And you're like, where were you?
Oh my gosh.
And it's like, they seem
Yeah.
to slip in and out of a dimension.
Interesting.
And of course I'm kidding, but they're pretty elusive when they want to be.
Sure. Just
They're
like people.
so smart. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
What is it, you said that you love being here in Medina, you'll probably never leave. What is it about this community that you love so much?
I like this square here. I love the
Okay.
historic square. I like that you can get to Cleveland in half an hour, and you can be in Amish country in an hour and some. In every direction, you have something different.
Yeah.
And it's kind of to me, it's the new hub. Like there's just
Interesting.
so many connectable places you can get to so quickly.
Yeah.
You know, you're in Akron but yet it's where I live. I live in Brunswick Hills, actually.
Okay.
And I'm still on 2 acres, and it's peaceful, and
Nice.
I just love it.
Do you have a lot of animals at home now?
Well, we have chickens now.
Okay, those are
Hubby
fun.
wanted chickens, which he's a city boy.
They're fun.
But he loves these chickens, right? And the cats don't bother them, oddly enough. My cats
Really?
are indoor-outdoor.
Okay.
Because I think that's the life of Riley. And we looked at 100 houses
Yeah.
in order to find somewhere safe for the cats to go out.
Of course.
So we're way back on a dead-end street,
cool.
back in the woods, so they're safe. But the cats don't bother them. We have 3 roosters and 11 females and
Oh wow.
5 cats and 2 dogs and a big fish tank.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
When you have people visit from out of town, what's kind of your Wendy's hit list, or here's my favorite things that I want to show off about this town?
about this town,
Yeah. Or Brunswick. I guess we can talk about Brunswick if you want to.
Brunswick, I gravitate here.
Okay, then
to
we'll talk
here.
about Medina.
So I always take them
That's
to Kitten Krazy.
Of course. Of course.
Everybody
I
wants
mean,
to
if
see
nothing
Kitten
else,
Krazy.
I just need to stop at the office and check something.
Yeah, actually, people say, "Can we go to Kitten Krazy and see the kitties?"
cool, yeah.
So we give them the big tour of the kitties, and usually we go to dinner somewhere wonderful. There's so many places. You can't say enough about Hunan right here, Corkscrew, and all the wonderful dining things. But I
Yeah.
think people just like the area. I mean,
Just
we're
kind
not a run around. We like being home. So we
Okay.
like entertaining at home. And
Nice.
it's just so peaceful.
Yeah.
I just love it. So, but we tell people, go down to the museums and down in Canton or whatever. But
Sure.
but usually, it's usually just being home.
Nice.
Quite
Nice.
frankly.
I'm curious, are you a big gardener or like a foodie? Do you love preparing a big meal and having people over for dinner?
Neither.
Okay.
Not me. Well,
Calling Hunan for takeout.
So-
I need service for 8 by 6.
we went to, my husband and I went to Walmart yesterday, and we saw these plants, and I said, oh yeah, no plants in the house. I will kill everything green.
Oh, wow, okay.
I cannot keep anything alive that's green, and I don't cook. So my husband does all the cooking, but we love to entertain.
He's
so
well trained.
He is
Good for you.
phenomenal.
Good. Keep him around.
And he's an incredible cook. So,
Yeah. Does he like cats or does he tolerate them?
Here's what he says.
Okay.
Okay, so when people say, oh, you guys are so wonderful, you must both love cats, he'll say, no, not really. He doesn't mind them.
Funny.
But
Yeah.
he'll say, not really, but I do love the smile they put on her face.
That is a smart man.
That is what's
That is a very smart man.
That is a
Wow.
super husband.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mind that I've done it for 18 years and not brought home a paycheck most of it.
Yeah.
And I started a spay-neuter clinic and closed that. It was hard work, and it was also hard to keep vets, and now they're having trouble everywhere with having vets and things. So I kind of closed ahead of that whole thing, and just a lot of work. I spend 15 hours a day there.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
he's very supportive, incredible person. Yeah.
So Kitten Krazy is the name of the business, but it's not all just kittens, right?
Kittens and cats.
Kittens and cats.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are the main services you provide? Is it adoption, cat sitting, training, cat store?
We have some things for sale. We have a flea market right now.
Okay.
That is open. Saturdays 11 to 4 is our big day. So on Saturdays from 11 to 4, we have a massive big flea market
Cool. And you have that
at the
the
same
store?
building.
Okay.
And we're struggling with whether we should keep it open or not. We are able to get rid of some of the space that we leased for Quick Fix early. And that's why
Okay.
we started it, because we had to continue to pay for that space.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
thought I'd do that. And it has helped immensely, but it's a lot of work. It takes me away from the cats, and that's my love.
Yeah.
But for now, we're going to stay open. And we also have a fundraiser coming up on Saturday, which we can talk about too.
Nice.
And but it's mostly just adoptions. So just come on in and adopt. Saturday, we adopted out 12 in one day.
Wow.
So it's a machine.
How many cats do you have at any one given time?
Typically, we run about 100 to 120 at any given time on our roster. He's laughing at me.
Goodness.
We're really low right now because we can't keep a cat in. If we get kittens in, they're instantly gone.
Okay.
So adoptions are insane
idea.
right now. Yeah, and it's wonderful because typically this is not kitten season. Usually you don't see any kittens right now. But they did not stop going into heat and having kittens. So it's just a continuum this year, which is the first time I've seen it ever.
Do you think there's more interest in adopting because more people are working from home now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so it's that companionship?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How many cats do you think you've adopted over 18 years?
Oh, it's definitely over 6,500.
Holy cats.
Holy cats.
Didn't even mean that to come out that way, because usually I say something else.
Right. You have to believe
That's a lot of cats.
It's a lot of cats. Yeah. However, and I like to say the adoption numbers first.
Yeah.
Because it's a holy cow number, right?
Sure.
Like that. But the real holy cow number is what we have to turn away. So in the summer, it is not unusual for us to turn away 200 a week.
Oh my gosh.
Every week.
And help me understand, what are the reasons for turning away a cat?
So in which way? The numbers part or the reason why we turn them away?
The reason why you turn them away.
Okay. So the requests come in. We have a process of getting them through our door. It takes a long time. So we don't just get them in and the next day they hit the floor for adoption. We want to be sure that cat or kitten is healthy, and that takes time. So they have to go in a cage. 90% need spayed and neutered. Whether they're an adult or not, people are still not spaying and neutering. They're pets even. People will call us, say they found one, they're strays, they don't want their cats anymore. Every which way you can get a cat, we get them that way. We have to triage. And I always say I feel like Schindler every day. I have to decide who gets in and who doesn't. And it's a vast few compared to what's out there.
Wow.
So we have to try to take in what we think we can get in and out to make the most effect.
Yeah.
It's not being greedy. It's not hoarding the best of the best. It's just good business practice. It's good for the animals. It's finding the most to home. But it's not contingent on health. We have other rescues. In fact, out in Worcester, Wayne County, they call us all the time because as a county shelter, they can't hold these animals that are sick, dying. Maybe they need an eye removed. Kittens have a broken leg. They don't have the funds to fix those cats, so they have to put them down.
Yeah.
So if they're a kitten and they need those things, they call us.
They call you. So
and
you
I'm like,
save them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they'll drive them to us.
Wow.
And then we pay to have them, they just need patched up, right?
Sure.
Kitten without an eye, first one out the door.
Yeah.
And it's sad because...
It's that emotional connection, you think? People see it and
absolutely.
they're like,
Oh, they need me, They need me. And then, but here's the thing that always gets me is we've already rescued the cats. We've already patched them up. Almost everybody coming in either needs to have, and this is just gross, but it is the truth, diarrhea is our number one issue. Diarrhea will cause dehydration. Dehydration will cause death. So if we don't get on those things right away, we'll have, major issues, especially with kittens. Diarrhea will kill a kitten, not necessarily a cat.
Yeah.
But we are curing these things every day. We have cats on medicine. Sometimes
That's
30,
expensive.
40 cats a day are on medicine, depending on how many we have in-house, how many we just took in. And so it's a process, and that holds things up. But it has to happen. We're not going to send a cat home to someone that needs all that care right after they spent all this money to adopt from us.
Right.
So, and then we do tell them if something happens in the first 2 weeks, call us, because things are residual. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it's hiding for the, it's going to pop out because of stress of going to a new home kind
Sure.
of thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow. Thank you for your passion for doing this.
I love it.
You must. Do you ever get a break, or do you ever take a break?
Sure.
Are you telling me the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
What is your escape? How do you, because I think, because someone who is as passionate as you, and you're putting in 15 hours a day, if not more, or you shared spending the night during snowstorms, how do you reset yourself? Almost like a cat has to go to that other layer and come back.
Yeah.
How do you do that as Wendy?
God-centered, gotta be.
Okay.
You do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, is one of my things. So the right thing for me today might be to take a step back. There are days where it's 15 hours, and then I take Sunday, Monday off now. And I've been doing that for almost a year.
Good for you.
And so I need those 2 days to regroup. And I have a tremendous, probably the best employee, I'll say, I've ever had as my shelter manager. Kristen, I love you. And she's incredible. And as well, to supplement, we have the best team of volunteers.
Okay.
That it is a village that knows what they're doing, that can handle it, and I can walk away now. My husband does a lot of traveling with his job. In fact, next week, we'll be taking a couple of days to go. I'm going to tag along with them.
Nice.
And somewhere
warm, I hope.
Nashville.
Warmish.
Warmish.
Okay.
Warmer.
Yeah.
And
Good music
so
and
yes,
food.
the team. Yeah. Thank you out there. And we're always looking for more people that can help us out.
So if people want to volunteer, do they stop at the shelter?
They stop in.
Send you an email? What's the best process for
There's a form on our website, kittenkrazy.org, Krazy's with a K.
Okay, yes.
And you can just go on our volunteer page, download the app, mail it in or drop it off. You'll get a call, we'll give you an orientation, and you're started. There are no specific hours. There's some days that we need more help than others we could talk to people about.
Yeah.
But typically, there's always a crew, whether it's small or big. There's always people there making sure that the cats are taken care of.
I'm just thinking back, I'm still stuck on 120 cats.
I used to be the chief pooper scooper is what I used to call myself.
Like
Not anymore.
No, it's so wonderful to have good help. And
They're
people
incredible.
you can trust.
They're incredible.
But just thinking of the process of the kitty litter and the food and the medicines, and how do you fund that? Is it you do fundraisers? The flea market helps out.
Well, I gotta say that you're one
counting
of the
your milk
best
money on the
interviewer I've
side?
ever had because you're asking all the right questions.
I'm curious.
So we just placed an order for $1,000 worth of litter alone, and it'll be gone in 3 months-ish.
Okay.
We've stocked the shelves because when it comes in now, it may be the last you're going to see for a while because
Supply chain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we get a little nervous right now because what if we run out of litter?
Right.
And
That would be a mess.
food and so a lot of times we'll put a plea out on our Facebook page.
Okay.
And it's incredible how many good people are out there that will send it. They'll just place an order through Chewy, have Chewy send it to us.
Oh, wow.
Bags of
Okay.
food, canned food, litter. When we start seeing our shelves go low, we ask the good people out there if they could help us out. And it's really unbelievable how much help we can get. But we were so low, our shelves were almost empty. I told Kristen, just get a whole pallet of each, and it was $1,000.
Yeah.
So each meaning clay and scoopable. They're two different kinds of litter. They're used two different ways. And I do have a show just on that.
All right.
Teach people how to use their litter properly.
Yeah.
Because
that's part of the whole education of it.
It's all the education. You could save a lot of money if you use it right.
Yeah, and you said something that I love that is very true. This community, out of any others in which I've lived or been involved, it supports nonprofits and good stuff being done, and supports the work of good people like yourself doing good stuff.
Aw.
When you put that plea out, we work a lot with like Feeding Medina County or Project
Right.
Learn. When the ask goes out, this community responds because they value what you do and what you're providing, which I think is pretty cool.
I agree.
That's awesome.
And I actually once sat next to a retired judge in town, and
Okay.
he said, I was just looking at your 990, and I thought, oh, that's interesting.
That's random.
That's random. And he said, do you know how many nonprofits are in Medina County alone? And I had no idea. He said 1,200
A lot.
in Medina County.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was shocked.
Yeah. There's a lot of need that is under the radar.
Yeah, there is a lot of need out there for sure.
Yeah.
And you asked earlier about our funding and all. We don't get funded by any organization. Medina County does not and has never
Yeah.
given us a dime. It all goes to the SPCA, and there's a reason for that. It's in their bylaws, I think it is, one of their documents, that they can only give money to an organization that has an animal control officer, and we do not.
Okay.
So there's a reason for that. But with that money comes responsibility.
Right. Right.
And if there is sick, injured, stray, homeless, somebody out there, that money is going to the SPCA.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who should be taking care of the majority of the problem.
Right.
So, and I think they do what they can do.
Yeah.
But we are no less doing what they're doing.
No, absolutely.
We
Of course.
take in sick, injured, and yes, we'd love to just take in all the wonderful cases. But the fact is, when someone walks in with an injury or a problem, there's no way we're saying no.
Yeah.
Of course, don't do that. Don't be coming
But don't
in
come
with,
running.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, at some point we will have to, but I mean, I've just had so many things happen,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of abuse towards animals too out there. Yes, there's good people, but just like
there's bad
cats, there's
people.
bad people too.
If people want to support you, is it by donation? Do you have members for Kitten Krazy?
No memberships.
Okay.
There's nothing
They
that
can
we
go
can
online,
offer.
make a donation?
Yeah, right on our Facebook page, right through our website. We have
Okay.
donate buttons. You can just mail us a check. You can go on PayPal. We have a PayPal button,
Mm-hmm.
and you can make a monthly donation. We have people making $5 and $10 monthly donations. They
That's
don't
cool.
even probably
comes
notice
out
it
of their
anymore.
checking
Yeah,
account,
it
don't
would
even
be
know.
so
Yeah.
great, to know that we have that's building up
Yeah.
to help us out, because the cat population is growing now that there's less and less spay-neuter clinics now.
That's true.
Less
Yeah.
and less vets, because One of a Kind in Akron had closed down all summer,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just starting to come back up and running because of no vets.
Yeah.
So that just 1 to 2 years, the population has escalated.
Sure.
Incredibly.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Well, Wendy, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you and learning more about you and your passion. Thank you so much for what you're doing in our community and around the county. We look forward to seeing where you go with this.
thank you.
It's like I want to come over now and tabulate how many kittens, how many pounds of food, how many of this. Just so that I'm terrible at math, but I like numbers and statistics.
Yes.
But bottom line, you're doing amazing work, and
Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. And thanks to everybody that helps.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time, letting me have this time.
Absolutely.